Whenever you're in a hospital, whether it's for something simple or a major surgery, you're surrounded by technology. But there's a hidden layer to all of it, something silently powering the machines that keep us healthy. Today, we're pulling back the curtain on these unseen heroes, medical PCBs. All right, so let's start with a bit of a riddle. What do a pacemaker, a massive CT scanner, and a tiny cochlear implant all have in common? They're wildly different, right? One keeps a heart beating, one sees inside your body, and one helps you hear. So what's the one piece of tech they all rely on? And there's the answer, a tiny, hyper-specialized circuit board. But hold on, we're not talking about the kind of board you'd find in your TV remote or your laptop. No way. This is a medical-grade printed circuit board, a PCB, and honestly, it's one of the most fundamental building blocks of all modern medicine.
So let's dig into that. How did this little piece of tech become such an absolute giant in the medical world?
Okay, so for anyone who's not familiar, let's do a quick primer. A PCB is basically the nervous system for any electronic device. It's the flat board that all the tiny chips and components live on. And it has these little copper pathways that let everything talk to each other. It's the foundation that makes the whole thing work. But here's the thing, and this is really the key point. The PCB inside your gaming console and the one inside a life support machine, they are worlds apart. Because when a human life is literally on the line, a standard off-the-shelf board just isn't going to cut it. The stakes are way, way too high. So what makes these boards so special? What do they even look like? Well, it turns out their shape and design are completely driven by what they need to do. Let's break down the different kinds. All right, this breaks it down nicely. You've basically got two main flavors. First, you have your rigid PCBs. And yeah, the name says it all. They're stiff, they don't bend, they're perfect for providing structure and stability inside big, standalone machines like an EKG monitor. But then you've got flexible PCBs. These are the cool ones. They can bend, they can twist, which makes them absolutely perfect for things like wearables or medical implants that have to curve and fit with the human body. But wait, it gets even cooler. Engineers figured out how to combine the two into what are called rigid flex PCBs. So you get the best of both worlds, the strength of a rigid board connected by flexible parts. It's a total game changer for creating compact, powerful devices. And then there's this other thing, HDI, which stands for High Density Interconnect. This is the real magic behind making things tiny. It's an advanced way of building the board that lets you cram an unbelievable amount of power into a super small space. This is exactly how we get powerful little sensors you can wear on your skin. Okay, so we know what they are and the different types. But where are they in the real world? Let's connect the tech to the actual life-saving devices. Honestly, the short answer is pretty much everywhere. We're talking about everything from devices that go inside the body, pacemakers, neurostimulators, you name it, all the way up to those massive CT and MRI scanners that are crucial for diagnosis. Even things you might not think about, like a simple blood pressure monitor or the high-tech LED lights in a surgical suite, they all rely on these specialized PCBs to work day in and day out. Now, because this tech is so critical and so widespread, you can probably guess that the rules governing it are intense. There is absolutely no room for error. So let's talk about the incredibly strict rules of reliability. And this, right here, is the bottom line. A glitch in your phone is annoying. A failure in a medical device can be catastrophic. The consequences can be life-threatening. That's why compliance with the rules isn't just important, it is completely 100% non-negotiable. So every single one of these boards has to survive what's basically a gauntlet of approval. Think of it like layers of armor. First up, you have IPC standards. That's the baseline for quality, making sure the board is built right from the get-go. Then you layer on ISO certification. This is huge. It's about ensuring the whole manufacturing process is documented and controlled. Then, for anything sold in the US, you have the FDA. They come in and make sure the design is solid and the device is actually safe and does what it claims to do. And on top of all that, there's ROH, compliance, which is about making sure no hazardous materials are used. It's a whole system designed to catch any potential problem. Let's double-click on that ISO standard for a second. ISO 13485. This is a big one. It's a global standard, and it's not just about checking the final product, it's about the entire process. It basically forces a company to have a rock-solid documented system, like a recipe they follow perfectly every single time, to make sure their devices are consistently safe and meet all the rules. It's all about quality management from start to finish. So after all those rules, what's the acceptable failure rate? 99.9%? Nope. The goal, the requirement, is 100% reliability. Zero failures. Now, is that even possible? Well, to get as close as humanly possible, risk management is baked into the process from day one. I mean, from the very first napkin sketch of a design, teams are already thinking, what could go wrong here, and designing ways to prevent it. So let's bring it all together. When you look at the whole picture, it's pretty clear. These tiny little boards have an absolutely huge impact on our lives. So what's the secret sauce for making a quality medical PCB? It really boils down to these four things. 1. Custom designs tailored for a very specific job. 2. Just relentless quality testing at every single stage. 3. That comprehensive risk management we mentioned, always thinking ahead. And 4. Full traceability. That means being able to track every single component and every step in the process, from the raw materials all the way to the finished device. And really, this quote says it all. Ensuring all components meet the highest standards of safety and quality is non-negotiable. That's the mindset. There's no gray area, no good enough. It has to be perfect. Which brings us to the future. These little circuit boards are the engines driving medical innovation forward. And as they keep getting smaller and more powerful, you just have to ask yourself, what's next? What amazing breakthroughs are just around the corner, all thanks to this incredible hidden technology?